Great. Thank you everyone for coming. We're here today for the Commercial Revenue Committee. We've got one substantive item of business, but before that, Councillor Connell, are you happy with the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yep, happy. Thank you.
Great, so am I. So those are approved. Are there any apologies for absence? None, seeing as both of us are here. Any declarations of interest, Councillor Connell? No, none for me either. So we'll move to the substantive item, which is the dissolution of LBHF Joint Ventures Limited. Emily Hill here, the Director of Finance, is going to give a brief presentation on this item.
Thanks, Councillor Schmidt. The joint venture with Interim, or First Credit as it was then, was established to deliver ethical debt solutions to the council with a view to selling the concept to other local authorities. The joint venture partner has since made it clear their intention to leave the partnership, as commercially it's been a more difficult market than they'd expected. So officer members of the board met in June to recommend the company is struck from the company's register. And that's the recommendation before you today. It is important to note that this decision report doesn't change the council's policy in relation to ethical debt, and particularly that the council will continue to not use bailiffs for the collection of council tax. The other areas which the JV are currently used are housing benefit overpayments and former tenant rent arrears, and arrangements have been put in place to ensure that they can continue to be collected ethically going forwards.
Great, thank you, Emily. And my understanding is we'll be bringing all of this in-house. It'll be done by the council.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. The two main areas are former tenant arrears and housing benefit overpayments, and both those will be brought in-house and then evaluated to ensure that we're still collecting as we'd expect to. We expect them to be done cheaper and actually more effectively.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Connell, do you have any questions?
Thanks very much. Two minor questions for me, if that's okay. First of all, can I just seek assurance that of anyone who's currently got a payment plan with the joint venture, that transfers over to Hammersmith and Fulham so we can continue to recover that money over time? And secondly, just could you provide a bit more information about how the council is going to continue to collect debt in an ethical way, and just to make sure that that spirit of the joint venture isn't lost?
Thanks. So the first question in relation to payment plans, that's absolutely the case. There's a detailed handover plan, and each of those payment plans have come across, or arrangements have been made with those people with debts. So yeah, that's absolutely the case. In relation to sort of ethical debt collection, actually during the partnership, the council tax team have done a lot, particularly in relation to ethical debt, in relation to text reminders, early reminders, pointing people to other support that's available to them. Similarly, also with the rents team, who continue to have high levels of rent collection, taking an ethical approach during COVID, again, pointing people to support that's available to them. So absolutely, those ethical measures will still be taking place, and it's around sort of early notification, continual sort of conversation and correspondence, and then agreement of payment plans, ensuring people can afford those payments that are available to them. And as I said before, absolutely, in relation to council tax, no use of bailiffs.
And presumably that would also include making sure people are aware that we offer full council tax support to anyone who qualifies.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. Yes, we continue to have a particularly generous council tax support scheme, and anyone that has trouble with their council tax bills absolutely will be referred to making council tax support application.
Okay, thank you, Emily. Any further questions? No. In that case, is the item agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, agreed for me as well. And then the final item, future dates of meetings, those are still to be confirmed. So nothing to